What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AC Reviews the World. I am your host, AC the Engineer, and we are at episode 96. Let's give it a round of applause. Yep. Episode 96 now. Moving on up. It's getting closer and closer to the end of the year. And then right after the end of the year, we have episode 100. Episode 100. I don't know what we're going to do, but for some reason, episode 100 just sounds good. Sounds good to me. But, this is the best afternoon show on YouTube. That's how I feel about it. But, you know what we do? We do Monday through Friday. We start at 6 to 7, and where we go over 4 different topics that just need to be reviewed together. Today, just like any other day that we have this show, we got a lot of crazy things to talk about. But you know how I like to do it. Let's jump right into it. The first thing we're going to be talking about today is we have to go over, we got the Christmas Eve kidnapping. I don't know if you've heard about it yet, but it happened on Christmas Eve. And Texas girl is missing. But let's get over into it and see what information we can find out from today, and we're going to go over just the first things we know about it. So let's get over into it and see what we can find out about it. Overall, it's a crazy situation, but let's see what we can learn.
I am Tom Ziska. We are glad to have you with us. We begin with a Porter man locked up tonight, accused of kidnapping a 15-year-old girl on Christmas Day. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office says the father of the teen was able to alert police after he found his daughter using a parental control on her phone, which allowed him to check her location. Fox 26's Angie Rodriguez is here with that story. Angie.
Yeah, it's an application that many parents have, something like Life 360 or Find My iPhone. It's a type of software that allows parents to check on their kids' location, but sharing that information is a sensitive topic, as some people think those apps are too good to have. Others think just the opposite.
I know as a teenager you might not want your parent tracking you, but when it comes to things like that, I mean, that could have been a really bad situation for her.
Family-wise, I feel like that's okay, but social media is pushing it.
Sharing your location. It's a divisive topic. Some think it's good for minors, while others think applications have too much sensitive information. But according to the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, location tracking is exactly what helped a Porter father find his 15-year-old daughter after she was allegedly kidnapped while walking her dog on Christmas Day. This is 23-year-old Giovanni Rosales Espinosa. He's accused of kidnapping the teen by threatening her with a knife from his car. The girl's father found her phone pinged to a nearby wooded area just 2 miles away. And when he pulled up to the scene, he found Espinosa half naked with his daughter and her dog in the vehicle.
This is one of the ways that smartphones and technologies serve a positive purpose. You know, they're often seen as the boogeyman, and social media and smartphone use is they're creating terrible people and the world is falling apart. But in reality, they have some good uses. And one is when your kids are younger, they do serve as a way to monitor your kids, where they are, what they're doing.
Jeff Temple is a
Now, let me say something. I 100% agree that as a parent, that your little kids, especially your little kids, need to be, since we have all the technology to track them, I can't see a reason not to. Now it gets into the thing where, what if it's hacked? Something like that. That's what I also think about. But at the end of the day, you're trying to protect and safeguard your children. So I don't think anything's wrong with that. So let's keep going.
Professor and psychologist at UT Health Houston, and he says this case could have been a matter of life or death.
I do think that it is really important to communicate both ways, from kid to parent and parent to kid, about how you're going to use this function. In the case with Porter, it worked out beautifully. It worked out as it should, and a life was likely saved because of this function. But we want to make sure that we don't over-police, and we want to make sure that we're communicating with our kids about when we use it, when we should use it, and have that sort of open communication so that the kids know that you're using it, when it's appropriate and that you only use it when it's appropriate.
Communication is the key to any relationship. Even if it's father and son, mother and daughter, just parent and children, relationships, communication is always the key for any of those. Let's get over into this next video.
We are still monitoring a story we first told you about last night, the missing 19-year-old who vanished on Christmas.
So we're going to, let's see.
Eve.
Let's see. Well, we're going to get over into this next one. This one was a Christmas Eve kidnapping, where we're going to get into where a 19-year-old was vanished on Christmas Eve. Let's get over into it.
Camila Mendoza Olmos walked out of her mother's home near San Antonio, Texas, in her pajamas. She did not return. She left her cell phone behind as well as her car. She was last seen around 7 Wednesday morning wearing a black North Face sweater with blue designs, baby blue PJ shorts, and white shoes. Nearly 5 days later, there's still no sign of her, with an urgent search still ongoing tonight. For more, we are now joined by Jennifer Coffendorfer, News Nation Law and Justice contributor and former FBI Special Agent. Jennifer, great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Great to see you, Natasha.
It has been days since that 19-year-old disappeared, and investigators say they believe that Camila is in imminent danger. They have not ruled out anything in her disappearance, including kidnapping, human trafficking, or her just leaving of her own accord. What is standing out to you about this case?
Well, a couple things stand out to me. First of all, it makes no sense that if she was going to meet somebody and voluntarily leave, that she would leave in her pajama bottoms. Secondarily, she took her keys purportedly. If that's the case, why would she take her keys and not her car? Also, the fact that she left behind that cell phone, the cell phone that all 19-year-olds always have on them. It makes sense if you're going on a walk. It doesn't make much sense at all if you're planning on leaving for the rest of, a long period of time.
Yeah, investigators saying that she would go on walks by herself, but still it sounds like there are alarm bells going off in your mind about this case.
Yeah, there really are in this particular case, 6:30 in the morning or so, almost 7, the day before Christmas. It's very unusual for somebody to go missing at that time of a holiday season. In addition, as I said, those other indicators, it just doesn't make a lot of sense that this was voluntary.
And officials have conducted multiple searches with more than 100 volunteers showing up to help them search nearby areas. The search has been fairly local to where she disappeared so far, but it's been 5 days. Where do you think investigators should be looking at this point?
Well, the number one thing they need to do, of course, is start with her social media. They need to look at her text messaging, any communications she had before then. And also, Natasha, it's so important to talk to her friends, to talk to any boyfriends, anything like that she had communication with. In addition, look at their devices, because perhaps there has been some contact if she did leave on her own voluntarily.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below.
Now, it's a crazy situation, but let's get over into this next video and learn more about this situation. Let me get over into it.
It's a mother's worst nightmare.
Very stressful.
Maribel Mendoza's daughter, Camila Mendoza Olmos, went missing the morning of Christmas Eve. She was last seen on Caspian Spring on the far northwest side of Bexar County. Camila was at home next to her car. Minutes later, she's gone, and her car and her phone are still at home. It's something her friends say is completely unexpected.
We'll always be on the phone together when she walks. It's been very out of the normal.
It's not like her. She's always been the one to always stalk on us and like, why aren't you doing this?
To make sure that her phone's always charged.
Yeah. And the search for Camila has been nonstop since Christmas Eve. Family and friends, more than 100 people searching for her here at the intersection of Braun Road and Mustang Ranch in this wooded area, and even underneath an overpass, looking for her every day until they find her.
We've been searching on foot, like within a 3-mile radius. We don't have a single clue.
We love her. We want her with us. We hope she comes back.
Oh, devastating. It went real hard.
What would you say to Camilla right now if you could?
Well, I miss her. Daddy's waiting for her at home.
The search continues as the Bexar County Sheriff's Office issued a clear alert for Camila. Family and friends are checking the Wild Horse Park area and all over northwest Bexar County.
I want her to come back.
If someone's seen something, someone's heard something, if she's talked to you in the last few days, if any hints.
You can call BCSO at 210-335-6000.
Please come home. Daddy's missing.
Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
Now she's been missing for 5 days now. 5 days. 5 days now. And now we know how these types of cases go. The longer you're missing, you got to be honest, the less likely it is to be found alive, which is a tragic situation, and we don't want to wish that on anybody. But we have to understand just the probability, and it's good to have hope, but you need to be realistic about the expectations. But let's get over into this next video where it's talking about how the police are saying she's in imminent danger. Let's get over into it.
The search continues today for a missing college student near San Antonio, Texas.
ABC's Faith Abube has details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, the FBI joining the hunt for missing 19-year-old college student Camila Mendoza Olmos. She was last seen here on the surveillance camera Christmas Eve near her car outside her house near San Antonio. Police say she was rummaging through her car wearing pajama shorts, a hoodie, and running shoes. Moments later, the footage ends. 2 hours later, her mother realized she was missing and called police.
We do believe that she's still in imminent danger.
Her family and friends joining in on the search efforts. The community hosting prayers, all hoping Camilla comes home safe.
We're all just hoping that God, is just keeping her safe and that all is well.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we hear from the police department about the latest in the search and how the community is stepping up.
Now let's get over into an article, or not really article. Let's get over into just some breakdowns of what we need to understand about this case. So let's get over into it. So you know how I like to go to good old Google AI mode just to give us a little summary of it. Now, like always, please go ahead and do your own research on this stuff. So 19-year-old Camilla has been missing from the northwest Bexar County, Texas home since December 24th. Authorities believe that she may be in imminent danger and has issued a statewide clear alert. So timeline and detail of disappearance. So she was last seen on surveillance footage around 6:58 a.m. like we saw outside of her residence. Surveillance footage and neighbors' Ring camera captured an individual who believed to be Camilla searching through her vehicle before the footage ended because no further motion was detected. So the last known location, she was believed to have left the area on foot as her car and all her personal belongings, including her cell phone, remained at the house. Her mother discovered that she was missing 90 minutes later. Camille typically went for morning walks, but had never failed to return or left her phone behind. So physical description: 5'4", 110 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes, black North Face hoodie with blue accents, baby blue pajama shorts, and white shoes. Only her car keys and possibly her driver's license is the items that are possibly on her. So as of December 29th, so as of today, the investigation is active and involves multiple local and federal agencies, including the FBI and Homeland Security. Potential leads. So the sheriff stated that the investigators are exploring all possibilities, including kidnapping and human trafficking, though they have not ruled out that she may have left voluntarily. That is a thing that we got to think about. Did she leave voluntarily? Did she just want to get away and just decide to leave? Something no parent would consider, but it's something that the police have to think about. So international monitoring. So due to the proximity to the border, authorities are also monitoring any international travel, which is understandable. So the community effort, over 100 volunteers and organizations like the Youth Peace and the Justice Foundation have joined the search efforts, as a $1,000 reward has been offered for any information on her safe return. So anyone with information is told to contact the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, 210-335-6000. You see that number down there? So if you have any information, yes, please share it. But she's been missing since December 24th. if she was kidnapped, it's a tragic thing to say, but hopefully she's still alive. But just how the things that we've seen in the past, it's hard for us to. We can never say that conclusively. We just can hope that she is alive and well, or at least alive. At least it's an absolute tragic situation. Hopefully they get some clues about it, because missing a child, especially around Christmas, it's something that no parent should have to go through, and I can't imagine it. Truly can't imagine. But let me know your thoughts on it. What are your thoughts on the situation? Do you think since she didn't have her phone, or do you think she was last seen on the security footage rummaging through her car, and then later she was gone, no longer to be seen? Think she just forgot her phone and was kidnapped on the walk? Did she purposely leave it? Well, what are your thoughts on this situation, y'all? Absolutely crazy. But we're going to pivot over into the next topic here in a second. But overall, let me know your thoughts on this situation. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a crazy situation, and hopefully she is found. Hopefully she is found. But let's pivot over into the next topic we're going to be looking at today, and that is the New Jersey helicopter crash. We got the New Jersey helicopter crash, collision. So let's get over into it and see what we can find out about what happened during this situation. I believe both pilots have died now, as of now. So let's get over into it and see what we can find out.
These are the final images of a helicopter spinning helplessly to the ground after the FAA says it collided mid-air with another chopper.
Personnel respond out to the area of 100 Basin Road for 2 helicopters crashing.
It happened Sunday morning over Hamilton, New Jersey, about 35 miles outside Philadelphia. Both aircraft plummeting into an empty field, one bursting into flames.
I got one helicopter fully involved. I got another one in the woods down. Short expectation, we're going to need expedite the response.
Caitlin Collins lives nearby and raced to the crash site with her husband. She says they were able to help one pilot while waiting for first responders.
He was conscious and breathing and just looking around, kind of, obviously confused what just happened. So I just held his hand and told him everything was going to be okay.
Another eyewitness telling me she saw one of the pilots desperately trying to save his struggling helicopter as it fell.
It looked like he was trying to gain control of it, but it happened really fast and it just went down.
Authorities say the 2 private helicopters left together from nearby Hamilton Municipal Airport, flying in close proximity to each other.
It has been noted that the pilots had done that in the past. They apparently are friends and fly into the airport, have a meal together at the cafe that's there, and were leaving together.
Within just minutes of departing, the choppers collided about a mile from the airport. The eyewitness who took this video tells NBC News he saw the first helicopter flip upside down and dive to the ground. He captured the second chopper on video as it spiraled.
It definitely makes you reevaluate the fragility of everything around you.
And Peter, law enforcement has been...
So they do that often. They leave together. They usually, I'm assuming they fly out together. It's their normal routine. So what went differently this time to where it made it to them colliding into each other? But let's keep going.
Regarding that wreckage overnight, the NTSB will be leading this investigation. They have an investigator on the scene here right now. They will document this and then move that wreckage to a secure facility so they can continue that investigation. And I do want to add, this crash happened in a very busy part of town. A lot of people saw it, and they really want to know what went wrong here. Peter?
I have no doubt. Stephen Romo with the latest. Stephen, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. As I said, right now, at the time of this video, one was dead, one pilot was dead, and one was just severely injured. But let's go over into this next video where they said both pilots have
2 helicopters collided mid-air in New Jersey, and now we know both of those pilots are confirmed dead. CBS News Philadelphia's Ray Strickland is on the scene outside of Atlantic City.
Also, within the past hour, officials released the names of those two pilots. They've been identified as 71-year-old Michael Greenberg out of Sewell, New Jersey, and 65-year-old Kenneth Kirsch out of Carneys Point, New Jersey. Now, behind me is where investigators say Greenberg and Kirsch crash landed after that mid-air collision. NTSB investigators are now here on scene documenting the wreckage before they take those two choppers to a secure location. Now, the video you're seeing now is of Chopper 3 above the scene, and you can see the extensive damage to both of those helicopters. Investigators say the crash happened around 11:30 yesterday, not long after Greenberg and Kirsch took off from Hamilton Municipal Airport. The two crashed in the area of Bassin Road and Route 206, which is just a mile and a half away from that airport. Now, the big question on many people's minds today is how could this happen? That, of course, will be the focus of the investigation as the NTSB tries to comb through all of this evidence that will include listening to recordings, determining the flight paths, and also inspecting maintenance records. Now, witnesses of the crash say they saw these two helicopters flying close before the crash. Caitlin Collins told us that they also landed in her backyard.
I just heard this wub, 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 and I knew it was close. You know, you can feel it. We saw a red helicopter on its side, and there was a man in there, and he was breathing and he was looking around. I just held his hand and just told him everything was going to be okay and everything was fine. And I told him, you know, you could hear the sirens. I said, they're coming for you.
Now, the FAA is also here to help the NTSB with the investigation. We also reached out to the NTSB for a comment, and we are still waiting to hear back.
Now on to a deadly mid-air collision.
Now, let's get over into this next video. We see a little bit more of the spinning out of control
Between two helicopters that happened south of Philadelphia. We're now hearing from a witness who helped comfort one of the pilots after that crash. Here's ABC's Hannah Battah.
This morning, dramatic video shows a helicopter spinning out of control seconds before crashing near Hamilton Airport in southern New Jersey. Black smoke billowing into the sky, witnesses calling 911.
I see one helicopter slowly descending down in a rotating motion, almost as if the rudder and the tail they've lost control. And then I see a second one come down with the same issue behind it.
One pilot died. The other pilot rushed to the hospital critically injured. Both were reportedly flying close together in tandem. It's unclear why.
My husband just started screaming, saying, call 911.
One witness and her husband rushed to the scene with their neighbor, trying to comfort one of the pilots.
There was a man in there. He was conscious.
Now, we heard about this. We're not going to watch this anymore, but we her and her husband did an amazing, brave thing. So let's get over into just a little bit more details about it so we can actually understand what's happening. So let's see it real quickly. So as you see, on Sunday, December 28th, a fatal mid-air collision between two helicopters happened in New Jersey. So the victim has been identified as Michael Greenberg, 71, and Kenneth Christie, I might be saying his name, 65, and was pronounced dead while he was, okay, so now then both of them have been confirmed dead. The collision involved in these two helicopters, so an N-Storm F-28A and an N-Storm 280C. One aircraft crashed into a tree line and caught fire, while the other went down in the open field approximately 1.5 miles from the airport. So witnesses reported the two pilots were friends having breakfast at the local cafe. Video footage captured one helicopter spinning out of control and falling from the sky at 11:25. So let's see. Oh, they're talking about earlier plane crash or earlier tragedy. But overall, the main thing we're trying to figure out what happened. How did this routine situation, this routine meetup, as you say, because I'm assuming they're friends for a long time, probably happy to have an airplane, a helicopter together, meet up often for lunch, fly back, and that's their usual routine. But what went wrong? What went differently? Did one of them get a little too close? Did they underestimate how close they were when they were flying? Was it just human error? There's a lot of questions we have. A lot of questions, but two people have lost their lives. It's a crazy situation. I want to know if it's something that was wrong with the helicopter from the maintenance records, or was it just human error? Human error that caused this tragic situation. Absolute crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on it, and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Absolutely crazy, absolutely crazy. But we're going to pivot over into our next topic that we're going to be talking about today, and that is we got to go to Chicago. You know, Chicago is a crazy place. Chicago is a dangerous place. So we're going to go over to the Chicago River North shooting and see what this whole situation is about. It's a tragic situation, I believe. Let's see how many people have died. One person has died, but let's get over into it and see what we can learn. See what we can learn.
And breaking this morning, one person was killed, 3 others injured in an overnight shooting in the city's River North neighborhood.
Let's get right to Courtney Spinelli live at Hubbard and LaSalle, where she's working to learn more on what happened there. Good morning, Courtney.
Sean and Jewel, good morning. It was a call for multiple people shot that brought officers to this area just after 2:30 this morning. Police sources this morning tell me that one of the 4 men shot in this area is a security guard who works nearby, though it's not clear whether he has any connection to the other 3 victims.
We got shell casings in the intersection.
Now, according to CPD, several of the victims were getting into an SUV when 4 suspects came up on foot and opened fire. They jumped into an unknown vehicle and were gone by the time officers arrived. At the scene, officers performing life-saving actions, applying tourniquets, a chest seal, and doing CPR. All of the victims were transported to Northwestern, where one of the victims, a 34-year-old man who had been shot multiple times, was pronounced dead. The other victims included a 36-year-old man shot in the chest, a 43-year-old man shot in the back, and a 35-year-old man shot several times. All 3 are in critical condition, according to police, and sources say at least one of them was rushed into surgery after arriving at Northwestern. A rideshare driver who was in the area at the time of the shooting shares what he heard.
I heard like a few shots, but I just thought it was just like, it sounded like those mufflers that just kind of go off. So I didn't really put didn't put mind to it. The cops, normally they always blocked on Hubbard, always shut it down. So I just thought it was normal, but when I actually turned right onto Hubbard, I seen like they had closed everything.
Now, on weekends, Chicago police typically block off streets near the bars in the River North area, which is likely what made their response to this scene so quick. It's not clear whether the victims know the suspects or had any prior interaction with them before this shooting. All of the circumstances, including what led up to this and any possible motive, still under investigation, and it is still very early and active in the investigation at this point. Now, the name of the man who was killed this morning has not yet been released, and no description of any potential suspects or the vehicle they may have taken off in has also been shared. Of course, we will bring you any updates live throughout the morning and our evening shows that we get. We are live in River North along.
Now, this overall looks like, I mean, just how it sounds. It says they pulled up quickly. They knew they shot fires fast, got into the car and left before the police got there. It sounds like a hit to me. That's my initial thinking. It sounds like a hit to me, but we got to wait till more information comes out. Now, the thing I always like to think about is how the mayor loves to say that crime is down. Crime is down. Now, a lot of things be happening in Chicago, but I mean, I guess the numbers are still saying it's down. But what are your thoughts on that? Let's get over into this next video.
We want to turn now to breaking news that we've been following all morning long out of Chicago's River North neighborhood. Police there are investigating a deadly mass shooting that happened early this morning. Our Asel Razai has been live at the scene near LaSalle and Hubbard. Asel, any updates so far this morning?
Marissa, we've been watching as Chicago police just bagged up over a dozen evidence markers. It's coming down pretty hard as far as the rain is concerned, but you can see just past this intersection, there's that green Porsche, that SUV. Police were focused in on that most of the morning. It was just surrounded by police tape and those evidence markers. Officers have been clearing the scene over the past few hours. This shooting actually happened just a few hours ago, just after 2:30 this morning. It left one person dead, multiple people in the hospital. We'll show you this video. You'll see ambulances on the scene here about 2:45 this morning. Police say they found 4 victims here shot at this intersection. They say those victims were getting into a car when 4 unidentified suspects approached them on foot, pulled out guns and opened fire here. A 34-year-old man was shot multiple times and pronounced dead at Northwestern Hospital.
Now, unless it was just a hit, that's the only thing. Like someone put a hit on these, because they didn't ask them for. It doesn't sound like they asked them for any money. They just literally got out the car, shoot to kill, and then got in the car and left.
Police say 3 other men between 35 and 43 years old were also shot, all in critical condition at last check. Marissa, we're still waiting to see if we can find out more information about those victims. They were all shot multiple times throughout the body. We know police say those armed suspects got into a car and drove away from this scene. So far this morning, Chicago police are still investigating and don't have anyone in custody.
No one in custody. No one around. They don't know who did it, and they're still searching for it.
That's right. Well, Father Michael Flager says 2 security guards were inside of the gym during community basketball on Sunday. He says surveillance video shows one of the victims walking out of the gym.
Oh, wrong video. Let me pivot over to the next one real quickly. Yep, that's right here.
Well, 6:33 now. Police are coming up short in their investigation of a River North shooting that killed 1 man and critically hurt 3 others early yesterday morning.
Now a $10,000 reward is on the line for information that leads to an arrest. Lauren Victory is live in River North with more on what happened out there. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Dave and Marissa. Well, we checked in with Chicago police this morning, and they definitely need the public's help on this one. Details are sparse. They were unable to give us a suspect description, nor were they able to give us any information about the getaway vehicle. Well, evidence markers covered the scene at Hubbard and LaSalle yesterday morning. Witnesses say they heard around 50 shots fired just after 2:30 a.m. The victims were getting into a car when 4 people walked up, opened fire, then jumped in a vehicle and sped away. A 34-year-old man died from his injuries. A 35, 36, and 43-year-old man are in critical condition at last check.
I was actually asleep, and then I woke up to like really loud noises, and I didn't really know what was going on. And then I thought maybe it was gunshots, but then I don't know. I was really groggy. But then there was like a little pause, and then there was a ton more, and I was like, oh gosh.
You see how people hear the sound, they might think, but they don't make anything of it, because either they wouldn't do anything, or it's just they think it's something else, or they're just used to it. So let's keep going.
It's not sounding great.
You can see the flashing lights are gone. Police, cars, ambulances, all not on scene this morning, but it is possible investigators will return to the area in the daylight today to look for more clues. At this hour, they have not indicated if the shooters or the suspects knew each other, or if this was a random act of violence. Reporting.
I highly doubt someone will shoot a group of 4 men with 50 shots without attempting to rob, without any other talking or anything like that, just because it's a random shooting. And then it was so professional, like a hit. How can it just be a random shooting? But they haven't found any connection yet, and they're still looking for them. And they're offering a $10,000 reward for any information on it. It's a crazy situation. Let's get over into the AI summary, because you know I like to look at that after we look at these videos, just to give us a little more thoughts on it. So let's get into it. Let's get over into it. So as you see, on Sunday, December 28th, a mass shooting at Chicago's River North neighborhood left 1 man dead and 3 critically injured. So at approximately 2:35 a.m. at the 400 block of North, I'm not even gonna try to say the name, near Huber Street. So the targeted attack. So 4 men were getting into a green Lamborghini SUV, valued at approximately $320,000 when they approached by 4 identified gunmen on foot. The gunmen opened fire, reportedly discharging approximately 50 shots before fleeing the scene. So, like, you got to think about it. If they was, because they was in a very expensive car, if they were trying to steal it or rob them, they wouldn't just let off 50 shots without at least telling them to give what's in their pockets first, because they don't want to either, if they're trying to take the car, they don't want to ruin the car, and they don't want to have to wait too long for the police to come before they can actually, because after they shoot, the police are coming. So they got to get the stuff down quickly or get the stuff away from them quickly. So the shooting, the gunman opened fire, reportedly discharging 50 shots before fleeing the scene. So witnesses noticed that while there was typically heavy police presence in the area, the shooting occurred shortly after officers had left the immediate vicinity. So victims, all 4 victims were taken to the Northwestern Memorial Hospital. A 34-year-old man died, and the victims' ages ranges from 34 to 43. So as of December 29th, so as of today, there has been no arrest, and the police have not released any description of the suspects. But they are offering a $10,000 reward leading to any arrest. Tips can be submitted anonymously. Yeah, overall, it feels like a hit to me. I don't know about what y'all are thinking, but everything just seems so smooth. It doesn't seem like a robbery. Unless we're missing something and they actually did demand money before they shot him. If they just jumped out the car, shot him, and jumped back in the car and sped away, that's like a hit. They were hunting down someone. So most likely the police need to investigate the people who are associated with the victims. That is my thinking. But let me know your thoughts on that whole situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. But I'm going to say this again. Chicago crime numbers are down. Chicago crime numbers are down. At least that's what they like to say. So let me know your thoughts on that whole situation, y'all. Let me know how you feel about it. We're going to pivot over into the last thing we're going to be talking about today. The last thing. But let's get this out the way first. But we're going to pivot over into the last thing we're going to be talking about today. And that is so we got a former McKinney City, hold on, move that out of the way. Former McKinney City manager murdered with his wife. So we're going to get over into that and see what all this is about. But they believe the person who is the prime suspect is the son who was shot by the police. Crazy situation, y'all. Crazy situation. Let's get over into it and see what we can find out from this whole situation. See what we can find out. So let's get over into it. So let's jump over into it.
In McKinney tonight, multiple sources tell WFAA that a former city manager is one of 2 victims in a homicide investigation. Investigators were called to Dunster Drive just off Lake Forest Drive around 10 o'clock this morning. Sources say former McKinney city manager Leonard Frank Reagan, who served in the city about 15 years ago, was found dead along with Jackie Reagan. And police say officers then shot the couple's son. Here's WFAA's Richard Solomon now breaking down what we know tonight.
Well, McKinney police say this all started as a welfare check that quickly turned into a disturbing scene here at this home behind me. Police say once officers went inside, they found both a husband and wife dead. Officers also found the adult son inside of the home, armed with the long gun when shots were fired. McKinney police say a relative who lives out of state hadn't heard from the couple in several days and called in a welfare check last night. Police say officers came but didn't find any suspicious reasoning to prompt them to go inside. We're told that same relative called again this morning, and once officers got here, they forced entry into the home through the back door. Police say right as they walked in, they found Leonard Frank Reagan and his wife Jackie Reagan dead in the living room. Frank Reagan is the former city manager of McKinney about 10 years ago. As officers continued to check the residence, they found 34-year-old Bryce Reagan, the couple's son, inside a bedroom with a long gun. I'm told officers gave him several commands to put down the gun, but he didn't. That's when police say officers shot him, hitting him multiple times. He was taken to a hospital in stable condition, but we haven't heard his condition as of now. Neighbors who live here say they heard the gunshots early this morning, and I'm told the couple had lived here for years.
Very shocking. I mean, it's always something you never expect in your own neighborhood. And I wish I knew the family. I wish I knew a little bit what maybe had been taking place to give more answers.
And right now, McKinney police are trying to figure out how and when exactly the couple died. Police say no officers were injured. For now, in McKinney, I'm Richard Solomon. Back to you.
Now, it's crazy to think that your own son could have been the one to murder you and your wife. It's a crazy situation. Crazy. Let's see what else we got.
Just a few moments ago, we received a statement from McKinney City Manager Paul Grimes. He says, quote, "We have learned that former city manager Frank Reagan and his wife were tragically found deceased in their home. Mr. Reagan served the McKinney community from March 2008 to June 2010. Our condolences and prayers are with the family. We are unable to comment further while this is an active investigation."
Let's go over into this next video, see if they give us a little bit more details about it.
Former North Texas city manager and his wife are found dead inside of their McKinney home. Police shot their adult son after they say that he was found armed inside of that home, and that was on Sunday. CBS News Texas reporter Lauren Crawford is live for us in our newsroom this morning with what we know so far. Lauren, bring us up to speed.
Hi, good morning, Carmen. Well, this is a developing story out of McKinney where police say a welfare check Sunday morning turned into a deadly scene inside of the family's home. Now, investigators confirmed that Leonard and Jackie Reagan were found dead, and their 34-year-old son, Bryce Reagan, is a suspect in the case. And police responded to a welfare check shortly before 10 a.m. Sunday at the home in the 5300 block of Dunster Drive after family members said that they had not heard from the residents for several days. Officers entered through a back door and found 73-year-old Leonard, also known as Frank Reagan, and his wife, 72-year-old Jackie Reagan, dead in the living room. Now, Leonard Reagan previously served as McKinney's city manager from 2008 to 2010. As officers cleared the home, they found the couple's 34-year-old son, Bryce Reagan, in a bedroom, armed with a long gun. Police say he did not comply with commands to put down the gun, and two officers fired their weapons, striking him multiple times.
I've lived here in this neighborhood for 15 years.
Now, I wonder if he was trying to commit suicide by cop, because that's what they love to do. But let's keep going.
And this neighborhood has always been very safe. I've never seen any major incidences of any, definitely nothing like this. But as far as I know, I've never seen anything even remotely close to this in the 15 years that I've lived in this neighborhood.
Now, another thing that we're learning in the investigation is that Sunday was the second time the officers visited the home in the past 24 hours. They conducted a welfare check on Saturday after a family member had called saying they hadn't heard from the Reagans in several days. Police say officers knocked on the door Saturday, got no response, and determined they did not have enough evidence to enter the home. Police have not released the cause of death for Leonard and Jackie Reagan. The two officers who fired the weapons have been placed on administrative leave this morning, which of course is standard policy. But Bryce Reagan was taken to the hospital. We do not know how he's doing right now, but of course this is a developing story, and that breaking news will continue to follow, bringing you those updates as soon as we learn them. Back to you.
Now let's go over to the AI summary, how I like to look at it, and see if they give us any more details about this whole crazy situation. So, as we know, December 28th, the former McKinney city manager, Frank Reagan, and his wife, Jackie Reagan, were found dead in their McKinney home during a welfare check. The police identified the son, Bryce Reagan, as the primary suspect in the double homicide. So they were discovered in the living room after relatives requested a welfare check. So officers encountered 34-year-old Bruce, armed with a long gun in the bedroom while clearing the house after he reportedly failed to comply commands to drop the weapon. Two officers shot him multiple times. The suspect was taken to the hospital and reportedly to be in stable condition. So the police and the Texas Rangers are investigating the motives, the two officers involved. So administrative leave, like we already know. So it's a crazy crazy situation. Now the question is potential charges. So there's currently no formal charges ongoing. There's an ongoing investigation. So the potential charges. So you got either capital murder, aggressive assault on a public servant. So these are the 3 charges or more charges. Capital murder. So in Texas, the intentional killing of more than one person during the same crime transaction qualifies as capital murder, which is punishable by life without parole or the death penalty. So you got aggravated assault on a public servant. So that's shooting at the charge may stem from the encounter with the responding officers as he was reportedly armed and failed to comply. And then felony possession of a firearm. So investigators may pursue weapons-related charges depending on the legality of the firearm found in his possession at the time. Now, it's possible that the long gun he had is his family's or his long gun. So it could be a legal firearm that he has. It is Texas, so a lot of people own legal guns. I don't know. We don't know any information about his prior information, if he's a convicted felon or anything like that. But they gotta look into it. They gotta look into it. It's a crazy situation, and hopefully we get an idea of what motive caused him to kill both of his parents, and then sit there and wait for the police. Now, my thinking is he was trying to commit suicide by cop. He didn't comply. He probably didn't. I don't know why he didn't shoot back, but there's a lot of crazy things. And there are a lot of deranged people in this world. We'll have to wait and see about what charges actually come, what actually motives they give us to explain what's happening, or in general, if he is ruled classified as the murderer. Because right now he's just a potential suspect. Overall, it's a crazy situation, and it's a situation we got to look at. There's a lot of crazy people in the world. But we got to review the world together. We have to review the world together. Overall, it's a crazy situation. Let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Absolutely crazy. What can lead a man to kill both of his parents? Absolutely crazy. Now, that is it for the show today, y'all. A little bit shorter. But like always, we go over 4 different topics that we need to review. So just to give a brief summary of what we talked about today, like we always like to do. So we got the Christmas Eve kidnapping, where a 19-year-old woman was either walked away or led away after the last video of her seen rummaging through her car. She didn't take her phone with her, which is very unlike her usual self. And they still have no leads to figure out where she is. Now, we still don't know if she walked away on her own or was led away. But that is what they're calling it, as a Christmas Eve kidnapping. And then we went over to the New Jersey helicopter crash, where 2 friends who were having breakfast like they usually do and fly away in their own helicopters like they usually do, for some reason collided in the air and came crashing down. Both pilots have been pronounced dead. They're still looking into what caused the crash. Was it human error? Was it something to do with the helicopter? But they're looking into that. Next, we went over to Chicago at the River North shooting, where 1 man was dead and 3 others were shot multiple times, where the whole situation appeared to be several men jumping out of a car and immediately shooting the 4 men while they were at their car, and then jumping back into theirs and riding away. Right now, police are saying it might be a random killing, but that seems like a hit to me. But let me know your thoughts on that. And then lastly, we talked about the former McKinney city manager who was found murdered with his wife, and their son was in the house holding a gun and was shot by the police trying to detain him. He is still right now currently in stable condition, and we haven't learned any motive about why he killed them or anything like that. So we'll just have to wait and see. Overall, we live in a crazy world, y'all, and we got to review this stuff together. Like always, thank you for watching now. Thank you for watching later. These videos will be broken down so you can watch the ones you want. It's a crazy world, y'all, but we are here, remember, Monday through Friday, starting between 6 and 7, and we're going to go over 4 different topics. It's a crazy world, and we got to review it together. We have to review the world together. If y'all have any videos you want me to review, please send it over to my email. My email is acreviewstheworld@gmail.com, a dot after the A and a dot after the C. But that is it for now, y'all. I will be back here tomorrow at 6 o'clock. We know we cannot miss. It's going to be starting between 6 and 7, most likely 6 o'clock, with 4 new topics and 4 things that we need to talk about. But that is it for now, y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and thank you for always the support. That's it for now, y'all. Peace.